Yo, what's good everybody? Welcome back, and today we are going to be ranking the top 10 duelists in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I know it took me a really long time to make this video, but Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is a lot of episodes and it's very difficult trying to put them all in a tier list. Either way, thank you guys for sticking with me, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Make sure y'all like this video and subscribe if y'all want more rankings like these. But let's go ahead and get into it. First up on the list, we got Axel Brody. Originally, Axel wasn't one of the best duelists in GX, but his growth started to happen closer to the end of the series. During the Yubel arc, he was one of the strongest duelists in the entire show. I mean, how many people can say that they went up against Supreme King Jaden and drew with him? Granted, he lost to Jaden in the first few minutes he pulled up to the academy, but this is a much stronger version of Jaden. Even in some of the matches that he lost, like his match against Truman, it was more of a psychological battle than him losing at Duel Monsters. Not to mention, he's just one of the most useful people in the show. He was really more of a marksman hunter than he was a duelist, because he was lighting people up with his dual disc. I think if he had more matches, I probably would be able to put him higher on the list, but for that reason, I think he's going to be my number 10 spot for Duelist in GX. Next up on the list, we got one of my favorite characters, the Chaz Princeton. Personally, Chaz is one of my favorite characters because he took a bad deck and made it absolutely amazing. After he added the Ojama brothers to his deck got even stronger. I don't believe a lot of duelists are doing what Chaz did with the Ojama brothers. Chaz beat Bastion, who didn't make this list, but he's still a very good duelist. But he beat him with the Ojama brothers. Not a single duelist in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX can do that. Alright, I might be gassing Chaz just a little bit, but seriously, he has a very mediocre deck and is beating good duelists with the Ojama brothers. He may have lost to top tier duelists like Jaden or Adrian, but he's also won up against top tier duelists like Alexis and Bastion. And that's all with the Ojama brothers, who, if you know them, they suck. So for this reason, he's gonna go in my number 9 spot. Now in our number 8 spot, we got Sartorius. So to be honest, his deck was a little bit different from most Duel Monsters decks. But he was a monster in his own right when it came to the game. He was absolutely unstoppable. Until he went up against Jaden, he did not lose a match. He beat Chaz. He wiped the floor with Hasselberry. He kicked that Prince dude's ass. He even beat Aster Phoenix. Yes, his deck was very luck based and he was kind of just controlling the game in a way. But I guess seeing into the future isn't against the rule book. He was even putting up a good fight against Jaden. But y'all already know, them Neo-Spatians are just a different type of beast. You can hate them, you can love them. Either way, Sartorius can see himself in my number 8 spot. Next up, we got a duelist who I think to be highly underrated is Jim Crocodile. Some of these lower tier top 10 characters could probably be a little interchangeable, but Jim is one of the reasons why I knocked out Hasselberry or Bastion. Because he was just such a skilled duelist and he had such a unique deck that I didn't feel like we needed them in here. Jim had some very notable wins, like against the countless dual ghouls that he went up against. He went up against Hasselberry or the Anger Mask. I think his match against Supreme King Jaden is the match that actually exhibited his skill as a duelist. Jim showed such resilience that Jaden had to use almost every fusion in his deck just to beat him. And that was all without the Eye of Orichalcos. So for that reason, Crocodile Jim is going to be in my number 7 spot. Coming up in the number 6 spot, we got Adrian Gecko. This is where we get into some of the GOATs of Duel Monsters. We already knew that Adrian was going to be a demon at Duel Monsters, but nobody was expecting him to be as cold as he was. He was not losing matches at all. He became the master of Exodia. That is no easy feat. We knew that he was going to win up against random students and dual ghouls. But winning up against Chaz and Aster, no one was expecting that for him. This is the best user to didn't ever touch an Exodia card since Yugi. And he didn't even need Exodia to beat Chaz. From what we saw, he had a basically flawless duel record except against Yubel. And we don't know a whole lot about the school that he came from, but we can assume that he was washing people back there too. And I'm so upset that we didn't get a good match between him and Jaden, because that would have been insane. But if you don't think Adrian fought for this spot on this list, I think you're crazy. So Adrian Gecko is going to get our number 6 spot. Next up, we got Jesse Anderson. It kills me to not put him higher on the list, but in reality, he isn't as good as the people higher up on this list. His deck is amazing, and he's a very skilled duelist. He held his own up against Jaden multiple times, but other people on this list have beaten Jaden and beaten stronger characters in the show. But when it comes to skill, I just don't think Jesse can hang with the big dogs. I'm kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt because I like him so much and his deck is extremely strong. But put that deck in other people's hands and I think they're doing better and more things than Jesse has ever done with the Crystal Beasts. And I love him. He's such a cool character. Him, the Crystal Beasts, Rainbow Dragon, I loved everything about it. But when I take my bias glasses off, him himself as a duelist is not standing next to Jaden for real. But he is good enough to make it into my number 5 spot. Next up on the list, we got Aster Phoenix. Aster Phoenix was so good, they had us thinking he was going to be the number 2 for Jaden. And for a little while, he was. Nobody was using the Destiny heroes like Aster Phoenix could. Not even his dad. I believe Aster had like 57 wins in the Pro League. He showed that his Destiny heroes could hang with Jaden's elemental heroes. And actually won against them in a few cases. Aster Phoenix probably had around 20 matches that we saw and lost maybe 5. And after his loss to Jaden, he only got stronger as a duelist. He learned just how strong his Destiny heroes could be, and he actually adapted and figured out how to be better. And in this show, that is a skill that a lot of duelists do not have. Closer to the end of the show, there were a lot of duelists that were stronger than him, but in his beginning time in the show, there weren't too many people that were able to beat him. And when he was beat, he was able to get better. So for that reason, I got Aster in my number 4 spot. Next up in our number 3 spot, we got Zane Truesdale. Zane Truesdale is one of the most complicated characters in the entire show, and his whole character arc is about breaking himself down to become an even better duelist. Zane is one of the only people that's been able to defeat Jaden in a duel. Zane, from the minute we know him, is at the top of the class of the Obelisk Blue and is one of the best duelists in all of Duel Academy and a master of his cyber deck. He's even the one that's trying to teach Cyrus, his little brother, how to use Power Bond effectively. He goes up against 10 Pro League duelists until finally he loses to Aster Phoenix. Yes, he goes on like a 65 duel losing streak after that, but that's because he was evolving as a duelist and he didn't truly find himself yet. After he realized he wasn't the main protagonist and that he could actually pull up and cook some duelists, he was going on win streak after win streak after win streak. People be trying to hold that L against Aster Phoenix against him even though he became a way better duelist after it. And even after his Pro League run, he came back to beat Chancellor Shepard, beat Atticus, and beat Cyrus. And I wish we could have got the ending to that Jesse and Zane battle because I truly don't know who would have won that fight. And in his final stretch of glory, his battle with Yubel was freaking epic. But sadly, he was not able to last. I never expected a show like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX to actually kill off one of my favorite characters. But I can't lie, it made the show a lot better and a lot more emotional. But because of his loss to Yubel, I gotta put Zane in the number 3 spot. So y'all already know who going in the number 2 spot? It's Yubel. I think Yubel is the only character in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX to not lose a match. Her worst matches that she didn't win were all just inconclusive or a draw. And that's her going up against the strongest people in the show. Jaden, Jesse, Zane. She even got tag teamed by Jesse and Jaden and still didn't lose. Yeah, I could talk about her whooping all those fodder characters like Marcel and all those other Duel Academy duelists. But not losing to Jesse, the wielder of the Crystal Beasts and Rainbow Dragon, and Jaden, a master of his elemental deck, and you were able to stand toe-to-toe with them? Yubel gotta be one of the toughest duelists in the show. In her short-lived amount of time, she made it very obvious why her and Jaden had such a close connection, and why their dueling styles were so similar. And no matter who she possessed and what cards she was using, let it be some fodder like Marcel or an absolute GOAT like Jesse Anderson, she was able to use every single deck to the best of its ability. I mean, it might be because she was part duel monster, but either way, that's still good remarks on her. She may not be a day one character, but she clawed her way into that number 2 spot. Last but certainly not least, the greatest duelist in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. We got Jaden Yuki. Jaden Yuki time and time again showed us why he was the best. He went against every single insanely strong character, whether it be Yubel, Zane, Aster, Jesse, every single person. Not only was he able to fight with his deck with absolute great perfect mastery, but he also adapted into other decks. When he started with the elemental deck, there was nobody that was able to pick up that deck and do what Jaden was doing. But after that, he was given the Neo-Spacian deck, which he just got, and was still absolutely working people. Sartorius, Aster, Yubel, whoever need be the smoke, he was delivering it. From the beginning of the show, yes, he was strong, and I think that's what everyone loved about him. That's the initial draw of Jaden, but he still had so much growth that it almost didn't make sense. You can't be such a strong duelist and still grow so much, but Jaden did it, which is another reason why I love the writing for this show. Every single character had a really cool, beautiful growth arc, but Jaden, after he got locked away in Neo Space, absolute cinema. Even the connections that he had with the people that he was dueling, every person he beat, he was able to befriend and make a better duelist. I know I'm talking a lot about Jaden's character and who he is as a person, but that did help him in a lot of his duels. Even Supreme King Jaden was absolutely working some of the strongest duelists. He was beating up on Axel. He was beating up on Crocodile Jim. Like, how do you win so much? I know it sounds like I'm glazing, but he is just one of the best duelists in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. Is he beating Yugi? That's a video for another day. But he is absolutely undisputed, unarguably the best duelist in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I don't even want to hear no other opinions about it. If you try to tell me that someone like Adrian Gecko is better than Jaden Yuki, you are out of your mind. Go argue with a wall. But that is my list for the top 10 duelists in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with me? Would you change some people? Let me know why you would change what you changed. Like, anything that y'all got, I want to know. But if you rocked with the video, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be posting more videos like this more frequently. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you know what I'm posting. But thank y'all for tuning into this video, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. We out. Peace.